Guys, I got an emergency out here. I need somebody here. George is under the tunnel. I can't see him. I mean, I was out here. I can't see George anywhere. I know his truck's here. I keep screaming for him and he's not answering. Guys, we need to send somebody out here. Let's get the fire department.
Get it changed.
What? Cancel it. He's here. He's here. We're out here in Austin, Texas, guys. We are going to be going underneath this house right here. The reason we're doing that is we replaced the entire drain system for this house. They had old, outdated cast iron piping and it was not draining. Everything had breaks, backfalls, and they were at a point where it was time to have it fully replaced. A spot repair, a minor repair wasn't going to do it. We had to get all the lines replaced. You see right here what I'm standing in front of is a big pile of rock. This is what was underneath their house. I'm actually gonna take you inside this tunnel, underneath the house. It's gonna be dark. I got my flashlight ready, and we're just gonna get under there and we're gonna go through the entire process. I'm standing right here with George. He was the lead installer on this process. What we did is after the excavation was done, George stepped in. George, tell me about what you did underneath this house.
Basically what I did, I was able to replace the main line. Once I went under the house, we replaced the main branch. There was a 2-inch branch line that went from the 4-inch to the kitchen, utility sink, and the laundry. That one got replaced.
And how many feet do you think was total replaced?
On that branch, it was probably like 20 feet, but the 4-inch branch, probably like 80 feet.
Wow.
And right on the middle, there's a branch, a 3-inch branch that it goes to a restroom. That one got replaced also. Up to the restroom, and at the end there's a utility sink, I believe, on the back, and there's a 4-inch stack for the second floor.
Wow. So compared to like other tunnels that you've done, because this was a large tunnel, how would you compare it to like something you've done before? Or
I will say this is not the biggest one, but the second one.
How many days do you think it took you to finish this?
It took me 1 day for the main branch. And for the kitchen, since I was chipping into the slab, it took me half a day. So total it was a day and a half.
Day and a half. See, and like the tools that you use in there, the process. What do you bring in there when you go underneath the tunnel?
Basically, you gotta get a suit first thing, safety glasses, get a mask also.
Everybody's tunnel is a little bit different. We're excited to get you under this one because of how deep, the length of it, and it just shows you the pathway kind of getting underneath there. But a lot of times, I would say probably 80% of our tunnels is a specific line where we're going 10 feet, 15 feet underneath the house, doing one specific bathroom that the foundation shifted and it had a crack. But in this case, the piping was just in such bad shape overall. It had to be fully replaced. So we're gonna show you our access points. You ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's get under here. Let's take a look at this. So basically what we're looking at right here is where we made the connection heading towards the city tie-in. If you look right here, we have a cap with a tap T right there. That's where we start our test from. This is a two-way clean out that the customer will be able to access if they ever need a stoppage or anything like that, and we need to access just to the pipe. We'll put a cap on that with a clean out, and that'll be their main access coming right off the house. And what we do is we follow the pipe out with a level, making sure that we have 1/4-inch fall the whole way through, making sure that it's what we call fall. When we're looking for the water, everything to flow out, we need proper fall. That's what's gonna give it that. We put that level on it, making sure that we're carrying that fall all the way out to the city tie-in. Once you get to a certain point, we have a zoom on it then, and we almost don't want too much fall. If you put too much fall on pipe, the water will outrun the waste, and you don't want that. So basically what we're doing is you have to be pretty precise on the proper fall that you have coming out of the slab. And remember guys, once we put this back in, we ain't getting back underneath there. So it's very specific that we do it correctly. It's city engineers involved, city inspections, everything is certified. And what that does is not only make sure that the customer's safe, but that the property is protected. The value of the property is obviously gonna increase, because if they were to ever sell the house or anything like that, they're completely have everything replaced. It's been certified and inspected by the city, and all that's documented. So we're about to get under and take a look at it. So So basically, we got George here set up in his Tyvek suit. Now, right now, he's more wearing this to protect from the dust that's in there. With the original installation, we were kind of worried about removing the old pipe and what that's involved in it. But now he's just there's a lot of dust under here. If you look at the rock that we took out of here, it gets real dusty whenever it's being removed and disturbed. So more than anything, he's just trying to protect himself and protect his clothing and everything from the dust that's in there. So that's why he's set up. He's got his glasses on. He's got his headlight, which is you know, going back when you're in there, your flashlight is just your most important tool. He's got his shoes covered, his hands, and we're gonna get under here and take a look at it.
As you can see, we're into the tunnel probably about 10 feet. This is where it goes out to the main sewer line. So we're going back in. And as you can see, we gotta support the pipe every 4 feet. That's just for code. And it should be in the slope on the 4-inch, about a 1/4 inch. For the 2-inch pipe, we should have also a 1/4. But the minimum slope on the 4-inch, it should be an 8. But on this one, we have a 1/4 because we have plenty of room to work with it. And if we go this way, as you can see, about 16 feet, you can see the utility sink. And if you go about 20 feet or 25, you can see the kitchen. And going that way, that's the main branch. Going to there's a restroom about 25 to 30 feet. Right in the middle of the house, and there's a 3-inch branch going that way. Another way at the end, we have a 4-inch stack going to the second floor, which is gonna be feeding the 2 restrooms on the second floor. And basically that's about it.
That was the first access. That's the main going out into the city. With this job is so large, we actually had to do 2 access points. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna come this way and we're gonna take a look at this second access. Coming to this side of the property. And you guys can see, if you live in Austin or if you're familiar with Austin, you can see the elevation that we're dealing with here. We got to be looking at least a 40-foot drop here going out to the main. So there's so many things that we take into account when we're building here in Austin. It's not just the stone that we're dealing with, because you can see this is what we're taking out underneath the ground. It's not just dirt, but you can see the elevation. Right here we have some of the old pipe. Obviously, there's nothing that's going to be able to get through this pipe right here. The cast iron, this is 2-inch cast iron right here, 4-inch laying next to it. There just comes a point where you have to do a full replacement, and also the full replacement comes with a better warranty. So if we do a full replacement on the property, we actually offer an extended warranty, as where if we're just doing a section of pipe. So the section of pipe, we warranty what we do, but we have to limit that warranty just because it's affected by so many other things. So you can see the pipe here. We're making our way over here to the second access, and you know, we're protecting the property, going back to that, putting plastic up where we need to. You could see the rock, the jagged edges there, and making our way over here and making the connections that we had to. This right here is going up to the upstairs vent and the upstairs restrooms. So that's a 4-inch pipe heading straight up, making the connections over here. And basically the same process. We have hangers holding this pipe up, strap holding this pipe up. And if you look right here, you can see where we made the connection. And I'll bring you right here into this, so that you can see the connection to the upstairs, and then making our way back down into these connections, everything underground being replaced. How many times do you think you came in and out of this tunnel?
Actually, I came maybe once because I had a helper.
Yeah, and what he's talking about there is when we're working on a tunnel like this, safety is the top priority. So when working with an apprentice, we actually do a 3-man crew. We have the lead installer, we have a second apprentice that's with him, and then we have a third person out here. You there's a lot of stories on the internet, and you've probably seen things. I mean, this is where probably the most dangerous part of any job we do is working underneath a slab like this. So there's other areas that their elevations and the soil is real soft. We're digging through rock, which is pretty firm and is going to hold, but still, for the most part, you want a third person up top. You never know what's going to happen. Just in case something does, they got to make an emergency call or an emergency rescue. We're ready for that. Because and the bottom line is we want to get Jorge safe. We want to do a good job, and we want to make sure that he's got a great family. We want to get him home to his family. At the end of the day, this is just the work that we do to get there. So it's a 3-man crew when we're doing this. 2 men in, 1 man out here, kind of in contact with them, making sure that they need what they need. Also, in case they need something real quick that they could just bring. So, because when you're below ground, it takes a lot of energy coming in and out. So they can come right here, we can hand them what they need, and then go right back under. They need something from the truck, whatever, run over there, grab it, come back under. So that's what that process there looks like. Sometimes even when we dig out the tunnel, there's still a beam in there that we have to get underneath. Creating that perfect fall requires us to go through a beam. And that goes back to making sure that the engineer takes a look at that job when it's done, make sure the beams are good. But sometimes we have to go straight through a beam, so we have to chip that out a little bit. That's something anybody who's worked on a tunnel before would tell you, when you get to those beams, that's where you're really starting to deal with something. This is hard to remove, but when you're talking about 70-year-old concrete that's been set and formed, that's a hard rock there. So we got to get through that process, and then digging underneath and just chipping on something in that tight spot makes it difficult also, because it's kind of just blowing right on top of you or blowing right back on you. One thing about Reliant, because we service so many types of different plumbing issues and emergencies, is we could be under a tunnel, then we're going to go do a water heater. We might have to go help out and just pull a toilet for somebody or an angle stop, something in that process. But I know one thing, when we pull up in that yellow truck, we're gonna get taken care of. We usually get it done same day. And that process, making sure that they could have that bathroom was big. And the customer, that's what they stress to us, is they can't just move out of their house during this process. They can't leave for a week. They have an elderly person living here. We wanted to make sure that they didn't really notice any disturbance besides, the dirt that's in their yard right now. But this is all going to be reset here pretty soon. And then with the inspection passed and the warranty, the next, 100 years from now, they're going to be taken care of. So I'm ready to get rolling. George, what about you?
Same.
All right, let's.